The ductus deferens, as we said, is going to join with the duct of a seminal vesicle, and the seminal vesicle basically is going to contribute a major component to seminal fluid. The seminal vesicles are situated on the posterior and inferior surface of the bladder. These are highly convoluted glands with a heavily folded mucosa lined with a pseudostratified columnar epithelium. This epithelium is rich in secretory granules that basically displace the nuclei down near the base of the cell. Seminal vesicles produce a secretion that constitutes 70% of human ejaculate that's rich in sperm-activating substances and also contains fructose, a major nutrient for sperm, providing an energy source for its motility. As we said earlier, the duct of each seminal vesicle joins with a ductus deferens to form an ejaculatory duct, which traverses the posterior aspect of the prostate to empty into the prostatic urethra. Here is a luminal epithelium showing the intense mucosal folding that's characteristic of the lining of a seminal vesicle. And at the arrow, basically at low magnification, is the area of that lining that characteristically is formed by a pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Then the prostate. The prostate consists of a collection of 30 to 50 branched tubuloalveolar glands whose ducts empty into the prostatic urethra. It's surrounded by a fibroelastic capsule that's very rich in smooth muscle, and functionally as well as pathologically, it's important to distinguish the two types of prostatic glands that are found within its interior. Adjacent to the urethra are a series of submucosal, so-called periurethral glands. Dominating the peripheral part of the prostate are what are known as the main prostatic glands. These two glands have different clinical significance for the following reasons. Enlargement of the area involving the periurethral glands is the main cause of benign prostatic hyperplasia. But in contrast, metastatic adenocarcinomas tend to develop more prominently in the more peripherally situated main prostatic glands, mainly in the posterior part of the prostate. Regardless, the glandular epithelium of the prostate tends to be tall, columnar, or cuboidal with pale, foamy cytoplasm and numerous secretory granules basically characterizing that cytoplasm. In a histologic section, we can see an elongate array of the tubuloalveolar glands that are lined by either columnar, as we said on the previous slide, and there's some debate as to whether part of the prostate is also considered to be pseudostratified columnar rather than a simple columnar epithelium. Finally, additional diseases of the prostate typically, again, are associated with metastatic adenocarcinomas or benign prostatic hyperplasia. BPH, basically, as we said, is a periurethral problem. When we get the metastatic prostatic adenocarcinomas, they turn out to be the most common cancer that develops in men, typically occurs after age 50, and its incidence increases with age. There may be some race association with it. Typically, regardless of whether males develop BPH or a metastatic problem, they typically present with urinary problems and, in the case of the metastatic conditions, a palpable mass detectable on rectal exams. Prostate cancer is actually more common than lung cancers, but lung cancer is far more lethal in comparison. The metastases typically occur via lymphatic or hematogenesis or hematogenic routes, and bone is mainly a site typically of where the metastasis proceeds.